Hey folks, David from Default Sound, and what you just heard was a demonstration of our MainStage patch for the song Your Love Awakens Me by Phil Wickham. This patch uses only MainStage 3 stock plugins and effects, which means you don't need any expensive third-party plugins to get this sound and use this patch. This patch has been created in the original key and at the original tempo of the song, but you can adjust both the key and the tempo to match the way that your team plays the tune. This patch has also been pre-mapped to our Sunday Keys MainStage template. So if you have the Sunday Keys template, then you can just drag and drop this patch right into your open concert, and it will be pre-mapped to the extra slot, so it's really easy to use. This patch also works in any other MainStage 3 concert. What I'd like to do now for you is go through the patch section by section and show you how to play the song. Let's take a look. Alright, this song is in the key of B, and it's at 101 BPM, and there's all sorts of different little chord changes that happen throughout the song for different sections. So I've included everything that you need to play all of those parts, but if your team skips some of those instrumentals or those auxiliary parts, then you can feel free to just follow along with the chord chart that you're using for your team, and it will work just fine. The majority of the main parts in the song will fit on a 61 key keyboard, so synth pads, your synth bass, the chorus lead, and the intro lead all are in this middle range, so they'll fit on 61 key keyboard. But you've got some auxiliary sounds that aren't necessarily integral to the song in the main recognizable parts, but they are present on the original recording. So they'll add some texture in if you'd like. You've got a synth ARP for some of the after the second chorus stuff down here. And then you've got some Mellotron and a piano sample up on the very top end. And I'll show you how to use those at the end of this video. But what I want to cover first is the meat and potatoes of the song. So you want to start with your mod wheel all the way down. And right here, about 2 octaves above, middle C, you have that little intro hook. And as you play this hook, you want to move the mod wheel up over the course of 2 cycles. And as you move the mod wheel up, the sound shifts and it opens up to be ready for the full band intro. Let me play that again for you a little bit slower. One more time, even slower. And then once the team comes in, you're going to add an F sharp there at the end of that phrase. So all together, with the mod wheel movement, it sounds like this. And with the mod wheel all the way up, it's just that saw lead. The glide comes out of it just like is present on the original recording. So that's the intro in the right hand. So however your team starts the song off, you can do that fade up with the mod wheel if needed, or if you just start it full in, then you just start with your mod wheel all the way up. You have an arpeggiated bass that's right here, an octave below middle C, so this is B2. And you're going to use that on the intro, the instrumentals, and the chorus of the song, as well as the bridge. And really, you could use it anywhere that you felt like it would add something. If you wanted to bring it in for verse 2, you could. A little bit of brightness built into the mod wheel, but not too much. And then an octave above that, you got a couple of layers here. There's a synth pad, and then there's also a stab synth at the very top end. So as you move the mod wheel up, the pad gets brighter. And then when the mod wheel reaches all the way up, you have a synth stab that comes in. So what that looks like for the intro is playing octaves in your left hand while you play that lead line in the right. So I'll play that for you real quick. 2, 3, 4. So that would be the intro. So the notes are B up to C sharp, walk down to E, walk up to F sharp. That's the progression right there. Then for the verse, you want to bring your mod wheel down, and you're just going to hold the bass notes in your left hand. So you're just going back and forth between the 1, B, and the 4, E. And that's right here with your mod wheel all the way down. That's verse 1. Or if you want, you could just hold off if you have a larger band and you want to add more later. And when you get to the pre-chorus, you want to shift that mod wheel up a little bit on that last 4 chord on the E. And then when you get to the pre-chorus, you're going to repeat that intro motif in your right hand, and with the mod wheel just about a quarter of the way up. It's going to sound like that. So that progression goes like this. And then that's your in to the chorus. So I'll play that a little bit slower. So let me do this slow for you. I'll count it in. 2, 3, 4. And during that little pause, you want to shift that mod wheel all the way up, and that's going to get you ready for the chorus. The chorus, your right hand's going to shift down an octave to where we have this saw lead. So I'm going to go over this part before I talk about the left hand. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. I'll do it with the pad so you can get the changes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. And we'll talk a little bit more about what the left hand is doing there in a second. Let me slow this down for you. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the chorus in the right hand. Now I'm going to go to the left hand, and that looks like this. And you're going to want to use your sustain pedal for this song. It's going to come in really handy, especially in the left hand. On the right hand, the sustain pedal has been disabled, but in your left hand, it's going to sustain that synth pad and the synth bass so that you can hit those staccato stabs in the right place and not have it sound disconnected. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're playing for the B, just playing on the 1. For the E, just playing on the 1. And then we get it to the G sharp octave. You're doing some syncopation there. And then the cycle resets. So altogether it sounds like this. So it might take a little bit of practice to get that syncopation in there with your thumb. But if you can get it, that's great. If you can't, then you can continue to just play the whole notes and it'll still sound nice and full. That'll work just as well. All right, so let me put the left hand and the right hand together for the chorus. 2, 3, 4. All right, that's the chorus. Then after the first chorus, you're right back to the instrumental or the intro. And then you're at verse 2, and you can just do that synth pad again if you'd like, or if you want to add something that's a little more interesting, you can jump down 2 octaves if you have the range on your keyboard. And with the mod wheel all the way down, you're going to get synth pad and an arc down here. So that's up to you if you want, but it functions the exact same way. So the pre-chorus again would sound like. And then you're back to the chorus. After the chorus, after the second verse, there's a little bit of a turnaround that takes you into the bridge. So you're playing the chorus. And then after the chorus, you're just going to play that very first part of the instrumental. And that's it. That gets you to the bridge because the first chord in the bridge is the 4 chord, E. So the bridge takes place in the same range as the chorus. The chords are different. So in the left hand, it is E, walk up to F sharp, to B, to the 7, A sharp, down to the 6, G sharp, and then on the 5, F sharp for 2 bars. So all together that sounds like this, 2, 3, 4. And then you are ready to go to the instrumental that happens after the bridge. So while you're doing that bridge part in the left hand, there's a different lead part that happens in the right. It sounds like this, 2, 3, 4. We'll play that for you just solo. And you want to make your playing as legato as possible so you get some of that glide in between the notes. You don't want it to sound choppy. And remember, your sustain pedal is disabled for this sound because you don't want all those notes sustaining at once. Let me slow it down for you. All right, now we're going to put it all together. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then after you hit that final B at the end of the bridge, then we're going to, if you're doing it just like the original, to a little instrumental that just hangs out on B. And so you want to jump down an octave here to this arpeggiated part and bring the mod wheel down as you're able, or if you have an expression pedal, you could map that to modulation so you don't need to use your hand. You're going to hit that B. And then you're going to jump all the way up to this mellotron part if you're going to be really authentic to the original and you have the range on your keyboard. So what that sounds like all together is this. So the right hand and the left hand is just holding out that B. And then there's that little bass riff that happens for a second. And then there's an alternate chorus progression here that sort of comes in. So it's kind of goes like this. It stays in that same range for both hands. So the progression there is B, E, B, C sharp, E. So that progression all together, I'll sing it real quick. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. Your love is greater, your love is stronger, your love awakens, awakens, awakens me. And then you're right back to a regular chorus. So I'll play that all together real quick with the mellotron and the arp. And then you're back to the regular chorus. That's all there is to the song. I know there's some moving pieces, so like I said, if you don't do all of those little sections either musically, like your band doesn't play those parts, or you don't feel the need to bring those textures in, then you can just stay in the middle range, and you'll be okay with that art bass and the pad and the two lead sounds. But everything is there for you if you want to get as close to the original recording as possible. Thanks for checking out this video. I hope that you'll make this patch a part of your collection. Have a great day.